Hi, friend. Have you ever heard about the prophecy of the 3 days of darkness? It's quite an intriguing story circulating mainly among Christians, leaving many curious and even a bit scared. They say that during these dark days, only blessed candles will be able to light up the environment. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Some saints and mystics, like the famous Padre Pio, have spoken about these disturbing visions. And there's more. There's a whole spiritual preparation involved to face these days. I was so intrigued by this story that I had to share it with you. Want to know more? Then stay tuned for this video. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, activate notifications, and stay updated with all our videos. Prophecy and preparation. The prophecy of the 3 days of darkness is a theme that circulates among many Christians, generating a mix of fascination and fear. According to this prophecy, there will be a period of global chaos where a dense darkness will take over the world, and during this time, only blessed candles will provide light. It's a grim forecast that has led many to prepare in various ways. The essence of this prophecy is that when these 3 days arrive, the world will be engulfed in complete darkness, a darkness that will not allow the light of the sun, moon, or stars to penetrate. This apocalyptic scenario is not just a lack of physical light but also symbolizes a spiritual battle between the forces of good and evil. The only source of light during these days, as predicted, will be candles blessed by a Catholic priest. These candles are seen not only as tools for seeing but also as symbols of faith and divine protection. One of the most intriguing aspects of this prophecy is the clear and specific guidance given to the faithful on how they should prepare and behave during these days of darkness. One of the most repeated pieces of advice is that everyone should keep their windows tightly closed and not look outside, regardless of what they hear. This is because, according to the prophecy, what will be outside will be so terrible and demonic that it could drive those who witness it to despair and death. Keeping the windows closed is not just a physical safety measure but also a spiritual one, preventing evil from entering their homes. Preparation for the days of darkness involves much more than simple physical precautions. The prophecy also emphasizes the importance of being spiritually prepared. This means Christians are encouraged to strengthen their faith, pray more fervently, and live according to Christian teachings. It is a call to conversion and repentance, emphasizing the need to be in a state of grace to face the events to come. Additionally, the prophecy suggests that these 3 days will not only be a physical experience but also a spiritual test. During these days, those who have faith must fully trust in God and His promises of protection. The blessed candles, therefore, represent not only light but also the presence and divine protection amidst darkness and chaos. They are seen as a shield against the evil forces that will be unleashed during these days. The idea of such a catastrophic event naturally leads many to reflect on the fragility of human life and the importance of being spiritually prepared for any eventuality. Whether one believes literally in the prophecy or sees it as a metaphor for difficult times, the underlying message is clear: the necessity of faith, prayer, and trust in God. In summary, the prophecy of the 3 days of darkness is not just a forecast of a physical event but a call for spiritual preparation. Christians are advised to always be ready, both in body and spirit, to face any challenges that may arise. It is a powerful reminder of the importance of faith and divine protection, especially in times of great trial. Visionary accounts. The visionary accounts of the 3 days of darkness are fascinating and filled with details that have intrigued and even scared many over the years. Among the most well-known visionaries who spoke about these dark days are highly respected religious figures such as Padre Pio, Maria Tai, and Sister Marie-Julie Jahenny. These saints and mystics shared visions that seemed to converge on a common theme, a period of complete darkness accompanied by supernatural and catastrophic events. Padre Pio, one of the most revered saints of the Catholic Church, is known not only for his stigmata but also for his visions and prophecies. He described his visions of the 3 days of darkness on various occasions, warning the faithful to prepare spiritually for these difficult times. In his messages, Padre Pio emphasized the need for prayer, penance, and trust in God. He warned that during these days, evil would be loose in the world and that people should stay inside their homes, praying and using blessed candles for protection. Another important visionary was Maria Tai, a lesser-known mystic whose visions corroborate the accounts of other saints. She described scenes of destruction and chaos where evil forces would take over the world. Maria Tai emphasized that only those who were spiritually prepared and followed the instructions given by the visionaries would survive these days. Her visions reinforced the idea that spiritual preparation is essential and that divine protection is the only guarantee of safety. Sister Marie-Julie Jahenny, a French mystic, also reported detailed visions about the 3 days of darkness. She is known for her precise and detailed prophecies, which included descriptions of earthquakes, violent storms, and demonic apparitions. Marie-Julie warned about the importance of blessing candles and water, which would be the only means of protection during this period. She also highlighted the need to strengthen faith, perform acts of contrition, and trust in divine mercy. These visionary accounts, though varied in some details, share a central message: the need for spiritual preparation. For these saints and mystics, the visions of the 3 days of darkness were not just warnings about future events but also a call to conversion and a life according to Christian teachings. Spiritual preparation involves not only prayer and penance but also a change of life that reflects the values and principles of the gospel. The emphasis on divine protection during these days is also a common point in the visionary accounts. Blessed candles are frequently mentioned as essential tools for light and protection. These candles symbolize God's presence and the light of faith that shines even in the deepest darkness. The insistence on keeping windows closed and not looking outside is seen as a way to avoid the temptation of despair and fear, thereby protecting the soul from the malign influences that will be present outside. In addition to practical instructions, the visionaries also provided detailed spiritual guidance. The practice of acts of contrition, reciting the rosary, and other devotional prayers are recommended as means to strengthen faith and obtain divine protection. Trust in God and His mercy is repeatedly emphasized, reminding the faithful that despite the terror of the described events, God's presence is constant and that He is always willing to protect those who sincerely seek Him. These accounts have a profound impact on the faithful, leading many to reflect on their own spiritual lives and the importance of being prepared for any eventuality. The visionary's message is not only about a future apocalyptic event but about the importance of living a life of constant faith and devotion. They remind us that in times of crisis, faith and trust in God are our greatest strengths. Events during the darkness. The prophecy of the 3 days of darkness is one of the most impressive and frightening predictions within the Christian tradition, and one of the aspects that most draws attention is the events that will supposedly occur during these days. According to the accounts, it is not just an absence of light but a series of natural and supernatural events that will leave a deep mark on humanity. To begin with, the darkness will be total and absolute. Imagine a night without stars or moon, where no artificial light works. This darkness is described as dense, almost palpable, and it is not just the absence of light but a type of gloom that brings with it a feeling of oppression and despair. During these 3 days, the only available light will come from blessed candles, which, according to the prophecy, will have the capacity to burn and illuminate even in this complete darkness. Along with the darkness, nature will revolt. The prophecy mentions that there will be incessant thunder and lightning, with a sky full of dark clouds that seem to be in constant motion. These lightning bolts will not be mere flashes of light but will be accompanied by such powerful thunderclaps that they will make the earth shake. The thunder will not be distant sounds but something that will resonate in the bones, reminding everyone of the fury and power of the natural world. But it is not only the atmosphere that will be in turmoil. Devastating earthquakes will shake the earth, destroying cities and villages, toppling buildings, and opening fissures in the ground. These earthquakes will be so strong that even those who are in safe places will feel the impact. The earth will seem alive, moving under people's feet, adding a level of terror to the already present chaos. The darkness and earthquakes will be accompanied by even more terrifying phenomena, demonic apparitions. The prophecy speaks of evil forces that will be free to roam the world during these 3 days. These demons, described in various forms, from amorphous shadows to grotesque and frightening figures, will try to torment and drive to despair those who are not protected by faith. The accounts are clear in stating that looking outside or trying to face these apparitions will result in madness or death. During these days, fear will be palpable. People will hear screams and lamentations from outside, sounds of destruction and torment that will try to shake the faith of those inside their homes. However, those who follow the instructions to keep their windows closed and avoid looking outside will have a greater chance of surviving this period. The recommendation to not open windows or doors is to prevent evil from entering but also to preserve the sanity of those inside. In addition to natural and supernatural phenomena, there will be a massive loss of life. The prophecy predicts that many people will not be spiritually or physically prepared to face these days, resulting in a very high mortality rate. Those not protected by faith or blessed candles will be more vulnerable to attacks from evil forces and natural disasters. The reason behind these events is often interpreted as divine judgment, a way to purify the earth and humanity. It is a moment of retribution but also of redemption for those who keep their faith intact. Those who survive the 3 days of darkness will emerge into a transformed world, purified of the evils that plagued it. In summary, the events during the 3 days of darkness, as described in the prophecy, include total darkness, incessant thunder and lightning, devastating earthquakes, and demonic apparitions. These natural and supernatural phenomena will create an atmosphere of absolute terror, leading to massive loss of life. However, for the faithful, these days will also represent a test of faith and an opportunity for spiritual renewal. Spiritual guidance. Spiritual guidance to face the prophecy of the 3 days of darkness is a theme that deeply resonates among Christians. The main message is clear: spiritual preparation is as important as any physical preparation. During these days of darkness, the faith and spirituality of the faithful will be intensely tested, and the guidance given by visionaries and saints offers a path to maintaining peace and divine protection. First and foremost, the faithful are encouraged to strengthen their faith through constant prayer. Prayer is not only a way to communicate with God but also a source of strength and comfort. Praying the rosary, making novenas, and reciting other devotional prayers are recommended practices. These prayers help keep the mind focused and the heart firm amid the chaos. Moreover, it is a way to invoke divine protection and ask for mercy for oneself and loved ones. Seeking forgiveness is another crucial aspect of spiritual guidance. Christians are encouraged to confess regularly, seeking absolution and peace of mind. Confession is seen as a way to reconcile with God, cleansing the soul of sins and allowing a purer heart open to divine grace. This act of contrition is fundamental to facing the days of darkness with a clear conscience and renewed faith. Living according to Christian teachings is another vital form of preparation. This means practicing charity, loving one's neighbor, forgiving offenses, and always striving to act with justice and kindness. The teachings of Christ offer a clear guide on how to live a virtuous and pleasing life to God. Maintaining these principles in daily life is seen as a way to always be spiritually prepared, not just for the 3 days of darkness, but for any challenge life may present. Blessed candles play a symbolic and practical role during these days. They are recommended not only as a source of physical light, but also as a symbol of the light of faith that must shine even in the darkest moments. The blessing of these candles is seen as an act of divine protection, imbued with the ability to ward off spiritual and physical darkness. The faithful are encouraged to keep these candles ready and use them while praying, creating an environment of light and hope amid the darkness. Besides spiritual practices, the guidance also includes practical advice such as keeping windows closed and avoiding looking outside. This is to avoid despair and the negative influence of what is happening outside. The recommendation is to remain in constant prayer, maintaining calm and trust in divine protection. This temporary isolation is seen as a form of spiritual refuge, a moment to connect deeply with God and strengthen one's faith. In summary, the spiritual guidance to face the 3 days of darkness highlights the importance of prayer, repentance, and living according to Christian teachings. Blessed candles are a symbol of protection and faith, and maintaining an environment of prayer and calm is essential. These practices are seen as key to not only surviving physically during these days, but also emerging spiritually stronger and renewed. Reflecting on the prophecy of the 3 days of darkness, it is easy to understand why this story has captivated the imagination of so many people over the years. The idea of a period of total darkness, punctuated by terrifying natural and supernatural events, is both fascinating and frightening. But beyond the terrifying details, this prophecy brings a profound message about faith, spiritual preparation, and trust in divine protection. The accounts of saints and mystics like Padre Pio, Maria Tai, and Sister Marie Julie Jeheni not only warn us about possible future events but also invite us to look within ourselves and evaluate how we are living our lives. They remind us of the importance of maintaining a constant spiritual practice, the need to prepare not only physically but also spiritually for the challenges that may arise. During these days of darkness, the guidance is clear: keep windows closed, do not look outside, and trust in blessed candles as our only source of light. But more than that, we are called to strengthen our faith through prayer, repentance, and living according to Christian teachings. These actions not only protect us during moments of crisis but help us live more fully and meaningfully every day. The prophesied darkness can be seen as a metaphor for the difficult times we all face at some point in life. And the answers offered by this prophecy, prayer, faith, preparation, and the search for spiritual light, are valuable for any challenge we may encounter. In the end, the central message is about resilience and faith. Even in the darkest moments, there is a light that guides and protects us if we are willing to seek and trust it. It is a powerful reminder that, No matter how difficult the times, faith and divine protection are our greatest strengths. So, as we think about the prophecy of the 3 days of darkness, perhaps the most important thing is to reflect on how we can apply these principles in our daily lives. How can we better prepare, strengthen our faith, and live in a way that reflects the values we believe in? These are the questions that really matter and can help us face any darkness that comes our way. For more interesting content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications.